Okay, this is Greg Strockman again. We are here to make mead. This is a slightly different kind of brewing, but it's actually pretty similar to how you brew beer. I'm less familiar with the technical words here, so I'm probably going to call things that they're not supposed to be called, at least not by a proper meter, but we might as well take a gander at this process because there's a lot of similarities to brewing and some key differences. So the first thing we're going to do, much like we did for brewing, is get us some hot water. However, we don't need to mash. So that's an entire process we can skip here because honey, don't throw your back out, kids. Honey is already pretty much simple sugars, and those simple sugars don't need to be digested any further in the process of making a drink out of this that's fermented. So our honey can be used straight as is. We do kind of want to make sure that both the water is sanitized, so it'll need a boil for it, and we're going to add some flavor to this above and beyond honey, and we're going to make sure that that flavor is properly extracted by the water. So we're going to boil ourselves roughly 2 gallons of water because I'm hoping to make 2 gallons of mead. Here we go. Hot water out of the tap. I might as well save myself the energy of heating the water up to 120. I know that this thing is about half a gallon. I'll need 4 of those. It's free. You can enjoy the view of the bread in between.
They can't smell the bread.
Which is truly a shame, because it does smell delicious. But now we got our 4 half gallons, so that's 2 gallons. And since we want to get this boiling, I'm just gonna let the heater rip. We are going to flavor our mead. This will be an interesting process. I've read some things on the internet on how to do it. I talked to my friend who does it. And we're gonna kind of play off of those things. So I bought UK Kent Golding hops. Since we are trying to replicate a particular mead, which is the Viking blood, we're gonna take US Kent Golding, and I'm gonna do a boil with it. But then I'm also going to try and dry hop a little bit with it. Oh, well, that's just terrible. So now you get to see what a table extraction looks like. Since this is precious enough, I don't desire to lose any of it, and I'm not going to pick it up off the floor, but clean pieces I think we can salvage here. So it's about half of it. It's 11 grams. Should be 1 ounce in here, so it should be 14 grams twice, but this balance is notorious for not being very good at low masses, so that's 11. Oh, that says that's 13. Says that that's 12, so there we go. We'll call that half an ounce each. And then, this is the exciting part, we have hibiscus. This also goes into Viking blood, so we're going to see if we can get anything resembling Viking blood. We probably won't get it as good as they get it, but this is my first experience with hibiscus. That's a very interesting and pleasant smell. So we'll say half an ounce of this as well, and we'll try it both ways. Might as well see if we can get some boiled hibiscus in here. we're gonna eyeball this to maybe, that's a lot. Let's say 10 grams. Pressing down on it just gets the balance to remeasure a little bit, come to a new equilibrium. So that's about 10 grams each. So we'll have that to go in there as a boil addition, and as also as a post-boil addition. So this will be exciting. Okay, well, it's obviously boiling, so we're gonna uncap this mess and carefully try and not scald myself with that steam. Turn down the heat a little bit. And now we'll do 15 minutes of boil with two of our favorites here. A little bit of hibiscus and a little bit of hops. In they go. And we'll set an alarm for 15 minutes. We are down to 170, which is where we're gonna add our other goodies. Hopefully we can get a shot of that. Yeah. I do know my stove. I'm gonna set this so this should maintain at around this temperature. So the things that need to go in here are our second round of hops and hibiscus. In they go. Stir those in. It's almost like a witch's brew at this point. And, even more excitingly, our honey. We'll see if we can get this whole thing of honey in here. This is 5 pounds, so that should be enough to make 2 gallons of pretty decent gravity. As long as we can get it all to be in there. Let's take a tear. It's never a bad idea to get an exact measurement of exactly what ended up in there. I like grams. So here goes nothing. You can see the flow characteristics of honey are quite poor. Get it? Poor. An important thing whenever you're doing this is to keep in mind that a lot of this is going to end up sitting on the bottom of your water because it takes a little while for the honey to get into solution. And you don't want the honey to burn on the bottom. It's quite possible for the bottom of the pot to be significantly hotter than the water. And so it's really important that anytime you're adding anything that doesn't immediately go into solution or isn't suspended above the bottom of the pot, that you do a lot of stirring to make sure that you don't burn whatever you're putting in here. Now, I have burnt stuff in my time doing this stuff. One time I burnt malt extract to the bottom of the pot. It wasn't my fault. My friend who was supposed to be the stirrer didn't stir. But it turns out you're mostly just going to lose malt extract unless you burn something really, really badly and you start getting weird off flavors. But it's better if you don't take that risk. Now I would like to get all my honey out, and I'm really, really determined about this. So I'm going to add a little bit of water. and try and dissolve the rest of the honey so that it comes out. Just, again, don't do it with your injured arm. You can see that honey's coming off of that bottle quite effectively. In it goes. I want to drink all of the honey, so 2 washes is always better than 1. And by difference, so it's 2 kilos and 271 grams.